if I plug my value in here, let's try -2. We're going to get -2 plus 8. We're going to see if that's less than 3. We don't know for sure, so that's why I put the little question mark above it. -2 plus 8. No, we didn't try -2. We tried -6. My apologies. That's going to give us +2. Is +2 less than 3? Yeah, so we're good. So addition works the way we expect addition to work, and therefore subtraction will as well, right? Because subtraction and addition are the exact same thing. Subtraction is just the addition of negative numbers. So solving some of these inequalities, if I've got x plus 2 is less than 8, what am I going to do here to solve this thing? Subtract 2 on both sides. Cool, love it. -2, -2. So we're going to get x is going to be less than 6. And then we want to demonstrate, we want to verify that the solution is true. So what is a value that is less than 6? 5. So then we're going to plug that back into our original equation. We're going to try 5. Is 5 plus 2 less than 8? Yeah, because 7 is less than 8, so we're good. And then the last thing we want to do is plug this thing on a number line. So, what's this thing going to look like on a number line? We're going to write down 5, 6, and 7. Excellent. There we go. We've got the open circle. Why is it an open circle, Carolyn? Yeah, because it's strictly, yes, because it can't be equal to. Good. Yeah, love it. Okay, I want you guys to try those next five on your market or the next 4 rather. On your market gamer, give it a shot. See what you do. Give it a shot. See what happens. Feel free to converse with the people next to you about this question if you need assistance. Because you want to include that one. Yes. Yes. Try number 2. betcha. How have you completed any of the further? These can't cut. Okay, here we go. Go for it. Okay, so what we got? Number 2, what's it gonna look like? Just give me your completed drawing. Yes, 10 meet. What the number line should look like, yeah. Okay, gentlemen, stop talking. 12, 13, 14. Yeah. It's going to the right. Cool. Does anyone disagree? If the drawing's correct, that means your solution must be 2. Number 3, someone else. Carolyn. You betcha. If anyone's does not look like that, we oopsed. Rebecca, number 4. With an open circle going to the right. If yours does not look like that, you oops as well. Last one. Carolyn again. You sure? Maybe I made a mistake. What numbers did you say again? Negative? Negative 13, negative 12, and negative 11. That is not what I got. This okay. Negative 21, negative 20, and negative 19. That is the same thing I got. Okay, let's take a look at it then. First things first, we want to group here. So we're going to get 7x plus 12 is going to be less than or equal to.
Okay, I see what it is. I just didn't write it. I just said 12 from negative 8 and I just said negative 12 and negative 8.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that'll do it. No, that'll do it. You're good. So negative 21, negative 20, negative 19. And Angel, keep going. Finish us off. This last one here. Closed circle with on negative 20, I'm assuming, with the arrow going to the left. Love it. Okay, does anyone want to see any of those further? Click once, twice, thrice. Sold. Okay, cool. So these have word problems that go with them as well. So let's take a look at these. So John plans to rent a bicycle to get around while he is on vacation. Bob's Bikes charges $20 plus 10 per day, and Cindy's Cycles charges $25 plus 9 per day. How many days must John rent a bike for Bob's Bikes to be less expensive than Cindy's Cycles? So we're going to set these things up very similar to how we ran the word problems in the equation section. First, we need a variable to represent something. Who's got a variable that they think would be useful for the things that are changing in here? Carolyn, what do you think? Yeah, we want to know how many days he's borrowing from. So what's your variable? Because you like X, you say X. Sure. We could use what other letters? D we could use too. But Carolyn chose X, so our variable, here's us declaring it, is equal to X, the number of days. So we're going to have two expressions here. We're going to have one expression for Bob's Bikes, and then we're going to have another expression for Cindy's Cycles. They are the same thing. They just created their name. The name of the store is just to be alliteratory. Bob's Bikes and Cindy Cycles. So Bob's Bikes. How are we going to write down an expression to represent how much it costs to borrow a bike from Bob? Rebecca. It's going to be 20 plus 10. Not quite. Because it's $10. So the $20 comes from where? It's $10 per day. So how do we turn this? We have to include our variable here to increase the charge for every day. 10 meat. Yeah, it's going to be 20 plus 10x. This is going to give us the 10 times x. So as I increase the number of days, it's going to increase the dollars as well. Does that make sense, Rebecca? So like if we have 2 days here, it's going to cost what? $40. If we only borrow for 1 day, $30. Okay. So now we need a similar expression for Cindy's cycles. $10 meat. Cool. And ultimately now, what do we want? The question says, for how many days must John rent a bike for Bob's bikes to be less expensive than Cindy's cycles? Yeah, but eventually Cindy's cycles is going to be, the implication here is that eventually Cindy's cycles is going to be cheaper. So the question is, John's going to rent bikes while he's on vacation. So I could ask, what's the maximum number of days John could rent a bike from Bob to be less expensive than Cindy? That's the implication there. We don't know how many days he wants to rent. How many days could he rent from Bob's to be less expensive than Cindy? How'd you do it? What do you mean you don't know? You just guessed the right answer? Seriously? Kinda? So not kinda. You did something. Oh, so you guessed and checked. Okay. So now we need a technique. We're shooting. We know the correct answer is less than 5 days. So how do we need to come up with an expression here? What do we want to be true? Yes. Right, so if Cindy's is more expensive, that means Bob's is going to be less than Cindy. So now we've got an expression here. Bob's is going to be 20 plus 10x, and we want that to be less than 25 plus 9x. So we established our variable. We figured out what our expressions are going to look like. We want Bob to be cheaper than Cindy. So here we go. Now we solve. How do I solve for x here? 10 meat. Minus 9x on both sides. So we're going to get x here, yeah? So we're going to get x is going to be less than 5. Cool. So, how do then we quote this thing? What's our answer going to be? How do we express it? 10 meat. Done. John must rent from Bob's for less than 5 days. That's it. Relatively straightforward, yes? Okay. Flip the page. Should we do both lessons today? I feel like we should. The next one's really short. We're just going to finish it off. There we go. Let's do it. We're doing it. You know what? Fine. Fine. Take a look at this on your market tech giver. We'll pause here. Work well, or I'll just keep going.
This has